Good afternoon, folks. This is Hunter Jackson again with Giant Recreation World, Winter Garden, Florida, and check it out. I've got a nice big motorhome to show you today. Today we're going to be taking a look at a floor plan that works for a ton of families out there. There's lots of beds. This is the 2025 East to West Entrada 3100FB, FB standing for full bunk. So lots of beds to show you today and a lot of features to get into. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into it. Let's go. Let's get rocking and rolling on the front end of the 2025 East to West Entrada 3100FB. Firstly, talking about the type of chassis we're rocking today. This is going to be an E450 chassis by Ford. Moving down below here, let's talk about what kind of tires. These are going to be Hanook tires on steel wheels, and they are 16-inch rims, so you should have a pretty decent ride quality going down the road here. Backing it up a little bit, you can see we do have a molded fiberglass front cap, and East to West has done a little bit of an update here for 2025, making it black instead of that white color. Couple of windows up there for the kiddos in the bunk room, but I will point out there is no window on the front portion here, so it's going to stay a little bit cooler up in that top part. Moving down the side of the RV, we've got an awning that carries almost all the way to the end. I wish we could have gotten the rest of the way. But while I'm up here, I don't know if you can tell, I want to point out that they've wrapped the TPO style roof over the edge, which is going to help with your water intrusion or preventing water intrusion. Moving down below here, one quick thing I want to point out, this unit does have side view cameras and they've positioned them nice and low so you can see the blind spots. And as far as storage, East to West has absolutely killed it. This has an incredible amount of storage for all the people that you're going to bring along because you've got so many beds. Two up there in the front here. And then down below this one is going to be where our propane is located. A little bit of propane going on this coach. The furnace, the oven, and the hot water heater will all be running on propane. Looking out here though, we can see we do have an outdoor TV connection. So we've got 110 plugs as well as our satellite pass-through. This is going to be the back end of our exhaust. And then just talking a little bit about construction here. So this is going to be an aluminum framed coach as well as Asdel in the back wall. So rather than having Luan, they're using a composite material that is 99.9% impervious to water. Check this out. I just noticed this for the first time. So on these back dually tires, East to West has gone ahead and put you the valve stem extenders out here. This is going to make it way easier to air up your tires if you need to when you're out camping. Moving over to the side here, should have another nice large storage compartment. And if you want to count it, technically it does pass through up here in the top, although I don't know how many things you're going to be able to get up there. One thing I do want to point out though while we're in this compartment, this one as well as the one I'm getting ready to show you have these small drain plugs. This is great for being able to spray out after you're done camping. And then move into the big mamma jamma here. Check out this storage. Holy smokes, you can put everything. You can put grills in here. We've got full pass-through underneath that is every bit a foot, maybe a foot and a half tall here in the middle. A lot of space though to be able to bring a lot of cool goodies along with you. I got a little bit excited. Let's back up just for a second. I let you know once before, but this is an on-demand Fagatti tankless hot water heater. So unlimited hot showers as long as you have water. And then to the left of that is going to be our freshwater connection. Very, very strange, and you already know I'm going to give it a knock for that. And then up above there, we've got our spray port connection. So little place for outside if you need to spray off your feet, spray off the dog. And my guess would be is somewhere along the bottom side here, let's see. Yeah, right off to the tail end is going to be our LP Quick Connect. Again, another strange spot to be putting the LP Quick Connect, the fresh water connection, but I suppose that's what the engineering department had come up with over there to make this rig work. Moving to the back side though, just talking about what I'm seeing, I love, love, love that they've continued to give us a ladder in 2025. I think it's so important to get up on the top of your roof and inspect those seals at least a couple of times a year. And then up above, this is gonna be where our rear view camera is. So we've got 3 cameras in total on this coach. Moving around to the business end of the RV, I've gone ahead and left it in the turtle mode, as someone once told me. This is the back end of our pass-through storage. So the door's not as big, but you've got a huge compartment storage door on the camping side of the unit. Moving down, this is gonna be where our water bay is. What a terrific place. Oh, check it out. I'm taking it back. No more knocks. This is the city water connection on this side. They must have mislabeled it on the other side. That's gonna be your freshwater fill port. So I do apologize, but correction, that makes way more sense to me, especially putting it right next to the black tank flush here. And then over to the right, we can see where our black and gray handles are to get rid of our sewer and soapy water that are coming out of the unit. And then down below, those cords are gonna feed right through here. That's gonna make it so everything's tucked up into the vehicle, making it a little bit easier if you get in some of that inclement weather. Moving down the side of the coach, we do have our power connection. I was running the generator today, so I didn't need the jackery, but this is a 50 amp coach with 2 AC units. And then moving down below on this storage compartment, again, they're all rotocast, which means you can kind of put your water stuff or your sewage stuff wherever you'd like, but this is gonna be a good spot for maybe some camp chairs. And then the last one is just a small one up towards the driver. I'd probably be putting some things I might need on the roadside. And finally, the generator on this particular unit is gonna be a Yamaha NPS 6,000 watt generator. This is capable of running both ACs at the same time, as to be expected, but I'm very, very appreciative. Let's go ahead and get one more look at the outside of the 2025 East to West Entrada 3100 FB. Alrighty, and moving inside the 2025 3100 with the bunk beds. First thing that I'm noticing right as I walk in the door here, we do have our solar charge controller. As I showed you in those drone shots, this unit does come with 200 watts of solar. We've also got our awning control conveniently located next to the door here, as well as our fuse panel. And I missed it on the outside, this unit is gonna come with auto level. So that's something that we optioned out here at Giant Recreation. But moving inside really quick, getting your first looks. Let me be quiet. Check it out. You know, to me, this unit strikes me as something that is essentially a mobile hotel. You have a ton of sleeping in here, as you can see moving towards the back end. Let's go ahead though and start off with the kitchen area. To our left here is gonna be a 10 cubic foot, 12 volt refrigerator. Now this particular refrigerator can actually open from both sides, should you be on the other side and need a quick drink. But then moving down below, we've got a pull-out style freezer door with an additional shelf up above here. Pretty decent amount of freezer storage though in here. I think you'd be able to fit quite a bit. However, you're sleeping probably 6 people in this coach, and I may have wanted a little bit of a larger freezer, to be completely frank. Moving over to the side here, we've got a little bit of pantry storage with some shelving with ultra deep shelves. I couldn't even touch into the back there, but directly below that are gonna be 2 nice long drawers. And check that out, what a good little idea. Put a little spacer here in the middle, so you're essentially creating 2 pockets on each level of drawers. Very cool, I haven't seen that before. Moving off to the side here, looking at our kitchen configuration. Off to the right-hand side, we do have a countertop extension to give you a little bit more prep space while you're cooking. This is a 3-burner propane stovetop, so that's where one of the propane items is located. And then directly below that is gonna be a convection microwave. So you're able to do some air frying, baking, and pop the popcorn all in one system. Personally, I would have preferred the microwave had been up above and I would have just given up my compartment storage. However, that's what East to West chose to do. But here is the storage they've decided to go ahead and give us. It's actually really accessible. Most of the time you can't even like touch the back wall or touch anything up here. So I like that we're at least able to get in there very easily. Moving over to the right hand side though, you can see we've got a nice deep booth style dinette. Now this is going to comfortably sit / sleep, 4 to sit, 2 to sleep, and I'll show you real quick kind of how that bed mechanism works. So this is actually an ultra easy style of bed mechanism to use here. What you're going to do is you're going to pull up for the front hand side here, releasing the far side, and then we're going to pull / push down at the same time. Now we need to get these cushions out of our way here. Check it out. In the span of less than 30 seconds, hopefully, we've got our bed down into place. Very, very solid feeling. And then while I'm down here, I want to show you 2 different configurations that you can use while you're in the booth mode. East to West has decided to do 2 different styles that you can flip over depending on the type of vibe that you're going for. However, either way, when you're in bed mode, both of these are going to need to be down to complete the rest of the bed portion. Squeezing these into place. As you can see, at a little bit over 6'2", my head does not fit. I would have to lay this way, meaning this particular bed would be perfectly suited for a couple of kids or 1 adult. And then moving up from the dinette, we do have 4 additional storage compartments here that are about 1 foot in depth, and all 4 are going to carry across this entire row here. Up into the front though, moving towards the front chassis portion / where the driver and passenger will be. You can see we do have our TV located up in the top left hand corner here. And then East to West has gone ahead and given us the extendo ladder style to get up into the overhead bunk compartment. And this overhead bunk is killing it. It is very, very close to what feels like a queen size bed up here. And I can already tell, spin us around, that not having that front window up here is a huge difference maker. I've got a ton of space though. I'm laying down all the way flat. My head is nowhere close to the end. As you can see, whoop, my feet are also not touching this end table area. They have included a couple places though to put some drinks, a little nightstand compartment, and then 2 shelves off to the side. And then on the back side of that TV is going to be where some of our power is located. There is 110 and USB-A, USB-C. And jumping on down, not making you guys watch me struggle in this heat out here, let's talk about the front end chassis. Now this is going to be fairly standard for an E-Series chassis. The main thing that I want to point out here though is that in 2025 we do have Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. They've included a couple USB-C, USB-A's over here. And one cool feature I like to talk about on these motorhomes is over to the left-hand side is going to be an emergency start button. So what it's going to do is it's going to tie both your house and your chassis batteries together, making it so it's going to be very, very hard to strand yourself, and you kind of give yourself a little jump start on the front end here. Moving over to the right-hand side, you can see we've got a nice little jackknife sofa. One thing that may be added by some people out there would be an ottoman, something to kick your feet up on. But as you can see, we've got 2 seat belts over here, spinning you back around just very quickly. We've got 4 more seat belts here and 2 in the front for a total of 8, being very safe rolling down the road. Moving up and over the jackknife though, you can see we've got more taller storage compartments, not as deep on this one, but they've given you the height here. And all 3 of these are again going to carry through all the way. Talking about what I'm seeing though, on the window side of things, it appears that they've gone a little bit old school with the accordion style windows. I would have preferred to have seen the roller style, but those ones work pretty good for what they are. They are easily fixed. Should these cords get a little bit loose over the time, you can always tighten them up. Now, to move towards the rear end of the coach, some more sleeping area. Check it out. We've got full bunk over full bunk setups, meaning that adults are going to be very, very comfy. Let me see if I can go ahead and position this camera and show you kind of what I mean. Well, it's probably not the perfect angle, but it's the one that I've got to work with. Before I get into the beds here, I do want to point out these 2 drawers that are down below. These are going to be some excellent, storage for, extra t-shirts, socks, drawers, all the things that you put in the drawers. And then look, at 6'2", I am able to sleep extremely comfortably in this twin size bed. It kind of brings me back to my childhood. I'm sure a lot of you are thinking you are a child, so that's all right too. But then what I could see that you could not on the back side is going to be a 110 as well as USB-A, and that's consistent up into the top portion. They only get the USB-A, no 110. Both bunk beds will have windows for a nice morning ambiance. And then moving over to the left-hand side is going to be where our restroom area is located. So let's check it out. First thing that I noticed is that we are indeed rocking a porcelain toilet, which has got a pretty darn good seating position in here actually, given the space on it. We've got our sink located in the restroom, so no need to wash your hands or brush your teeth over in the kitchen sink. Up above is going to be our medicine style cabinet, and they've given us 3 levels, so plenty of storage for all the toothbrushes that you're probably going to be bringing along. Down to the right hand, we do have our LED lights switch, and then over to the left hand side is going to be our corner style glass shower with an upgraded nozzle up here above. Let's go ahead and check out type of space we're rocking. I've been in these showers before. Very comfy. This works perfect for camping. I've got the elbow room, I've got the head height. You can see the shower nozzles at a comfortable position. Not too bad. Swinging us around, you can see we've got 2 entrances here into the master bedroom. Let me go ahead and wiggle my way in here. Backing up a little bit. This is going to be a queen-sized 60 by 80 bed. Now I won't lie, it is a little bit tight in this rear bedroom area, but we've got a bunch of storage, and that's kind of the reason why. Up above, 3 storage compartments going across the top here, as well as our 110 USB-A on both sides. So if you paid for the coach, you both get 110 ports here in the rear. Again, this is going to be our accordion style window here in the back, and it is an emergency exit. But spinning us around and checking out what the people in the bedroom are looking at, we've got a beautiful area framed out here for a TV, and they've even left some space if you wanted to put a sound bar in there. Over to the right hand side is going to be what I anticipate to be your hanging storage. Yep. And then we've got 3 very similar, very large drawers that pull all the way out. They're a little bit deeper than those ones that were over next to the kiddos in the bunk room. And then to the right hand, or the left hand side, my bad, same kind of story. Nice deep drawers, plenty of space for bringing a lot of clothing along with you. And then 3 more shallow, short drawers over onto the left hand side. Let's go ahead and spin us around real quick and check out the reverse entrance of the bedroom, and go ahead and get you one more look at the 2026 East to West Entrada 3100 FB. Alrighty, ladies and gents, holy smokes, these reviews are getting harder and harder as July goes on. I'm dripping sweat out here. I'm trying to make it happen for you all, but this is a really, really cool model. I kind of explained why I chose it, when we first started the video, but to me, this is a mobile little hotel. You can bring the entire crew along with you. And I find a lot of times that the people that are getting into RVing and want to go straight into the motorized get very, very interested in this style. So one thing that I didn't talk about, which would probably be my biggest knock on the unit altogether, is going to be the slide box that I'm sitting in right now. It is a shallow slide, but they're running a slim rack system, so the piece of advice that I'd like to give you would be to be running your generator when you bring the slide in and out. I think East to West actually requires you to have the chassis on as well, so that's going to help give you full voltage going in and out. You don't want to run this full wall slide though without a full 12 volts to go both ways. So that's all I've got for now. I really appreciate everybody who's watched this video today. I hope that y'all are liking the motorhomes. I don't have a ton of time to do them all the time, but I'm going to start trickling them in more and more. So that's all I got. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next Friday. Later.